All right, we're back. The steak has reached 135 degrees, and so we're gonna haul it out of the oven. Now we put the plate in the oven a few minutes ago to warm it up. Let's bring this bad boy out, and hopefully let's kill that alarm. All right.
Or not.
Or kill it. Okay, so we've got the steak, we've brought it out, and now we're rubbing it in the basil and olive oil, then putting it on that nice warm plate. Some tin foil over it. Seal it in there. Now what's going to happen is it's going to keep cooking for a few more minutes inside that. And how many minutes are we going to leave it in there?
Roughly about 10. Basically,
Okay.
You want to let the juices get sucked back in there and rest, which is basically another 5 degrees that's going to go in. You could also, we're going to play with just jamming this in here and see what happens.
Sure.
So
now speaking of this, we did have an issue earlier on that we didn't bother to film. If you want to talk about that real quick.
Yep. So sometimes when you put this probe in here, I put it in and I could feel it hit the bottom. So I kind of pulled it out a little bit, but a couple minutes into cooking the steak, I'm like, I should probably reset it in there at an angle so that way it doesn't fall back all the way down through the bottom there. I'm going to change this temperature real quick. So it's going to finish its last 5 degrees or so here. While it's doing that, I can go ahead and cook whatever side dishes I've got. I'm going to toss some garlic bread in there real quick, and that's about it. We're just going to wait and then serve.
All right, we'll come back when that's ready. All right, we're back. The meat has it's topped out at 138 degrees, which is just fine. And Coach, what's next?
So now we're just basically going to take either a fresh rosemary sprig, or you can take one of the ones that's already in the pan. And we're just going to kind of baste this bad boy with some of the juices and stuff that's in there. So you can take a used one, a fresh one. I'm going to use a combination here. There's a little bit of thyme in there as well.
Okay.
And just basically, just going to kind of baste both sides of it here.
Now, some of you might be thinking that this is kind of silly and whatnot, but I'll tell you, you really do get an extra boost of flavor here at the end by doing this. So it's definitely worth doing. Definitely something that impressed me. I didn't actually think that it was going to work, but it does.
Another key to look for to know when your steak is done is this juice right here. So as long as that isn't pooling out, that's probably a good thing.
In other words, running out of it. Okay.
So it should take all the juices and basically absorb it back in there.
Okay.
Once it's done.
All right.
So this is probably about as close as we're going to get to being complete.
Okay.
So let's take a little cut into this, and there we've got about a medium. That's kind of what we're looking at. So
now I wanted to make sure that we talked about this very specifically because, like you've pointed out a few times, what we're not seeing here is this is not bloody.
Right.
It's pink, but it's cooked.
Right.
And that's a big misconception because everyone thinks that medium is a pink center, but it's not, is it?
Right. So I think what's happened over the years is that restaurants have gone above and beyond the USDA's recommendation, which 140 is medium by the USDA. And they've gone above and beyond that just because they're worried about customers not saying it's cooked enough and things like that.
Right.
Also, I believe the way that we cook it with the oven method tends to change the coloring and stuff like that, so it doesn't necessarily have a browner look.
Right.
Most of the restaurants just grill it on both sides, and that's why you get the pink center versus this is even throughout just because that's the way it's cooked in the oven.
Right. Yeah, there's no real opportunity for it to be brown from one side, then the other as that high heat cooks through, down through the meat. So, man, I wish you guys could smell this. Well, let's go ahead and try a piece here. Cut a bit of that off, would you?
Yep. Let's get that in. Yep, that's good.
Yeah. All right. Cut me a piece.
Yep. Nope. There we go.
Come here. Oh my God.
I think that's better than the last one.
Okay. Wow. So let's talk about that for just a minute. Dear God. Okay, so at this point, hopefully the viewers will bear with us. Okay, this one we aged for 3 days.
Yep, 3 days.
The other one was 1.5, and we've done it without aging, and each time it's absolutely epic.
Yep.
Okay. Now, we're eating from kind of the center, or I'm sorry, not the center, but from the edge here. We haven't really gotten into the inside, and the garlic bread's done. Okay, but here's what I'm tasting is it has kind of a little bit more of a smoky flavor to it.
Yep.
And it does definitely melt more in your mouth than otherwise. In the past, it's melted, but we've still had a little bit of chewing to do with
This
it.
is much softer.
Yeah, just kind of melts right in your mouth. The thyme, I think, was an excellent addition to it.
Yep.
It lends. I think the thyme is where it gets a little bit of that smoky flavor, and I think, as usual, when it comes to cooking that bad boy, I mean, that's to get my finger in there. I mean, that is 1.5 inches.
Yep.
I have calibrated fingers. Seriously, that's 1.5 inches thick. So, just absolutely slam dunk. I think we're gonna have to age most of these from now on.
Yep.
And
Definitely.
while we're here, let's just go over the cost. That sucker was it's 1.3 pounds.
Yep.
At $17.99 a pound.
I believe that's what it was.
And it's Wagyu beef. We'll put some links on the video. And holy crap, dude! So
Locally, I got it here at Ranch Food Direct. You can look around town and see who's got some good high quality beef. Wagyu just tend to be a really good brand that we have here.
Yeah.
So you can find whatever you can find locally.
right, absolutely. And once more, it's what's the type of steak again?
Ribeye.
This is a ribeye, and it's boneless.
Yes.
Okay, so there you have it, guys. That's our foray into a little bit of combat nutrition with the sexy steak from the 4-Hour Chef, with a few inputs from Dr. John Bernardi at Precision Nutrition and our own home cookery here.
Yep.
Something called Witchcraft. But all right.
Same thing.
All right, we're gonna devour this sucker.
Yep.
See you next time.